Well, good afternoon. We are just hours away to round number 4, kicking off in the Betfred Super League. The game of the week, the Warrington Wolves going to Craven Park to face the Robins. Oh, what a game that'll be. Already available for you after the news. It's there on the YouTube channel. Go and find it. Game of the week, a 30-minute preview of tonight's game, courtesy of Super League Raw. Let's take a look at the other fixtures that are going to be gracing the fields this week. The Robins there against the Wolves, the top fixture. Then it's the Saints against the Red Devils, the Tigers against the Giants in what should be a really intriguing contest. The Leopards going up against the Rhinos. The Broncos will, of course, be entertaining the Wigan Warriors, and bringing the curtain down on round number 4 will be the Catalan Dragons as they host Hull FC. This is how the league table looks. The Saints are perfect 3 from 3. Warriors are perfect 2 from 2. Then there is a glut of teams on 2 points. The Wolves, the Dragons, the Robins, and the Red Devils, as well as, of course, the Leeds Rhinos are doing really well with the 4 points, 2 wins, of course, for each of those. Then it's the Giants and Hull FC, with the Leopards, Tigers, and Broncos chasing their first win of the season this week in round 4. Will they do it? Well, let's warm up for it, shall we? Super League just keeps getting better and better. Oh, we love rugby league, we do. Time for more in round 4, and we can't wait for it. Oh, 40-20s from James Meadows, floating passes from Cameron Smith, Matty Ashton flying once again for the Warrington Wolves, Marshall with his hat-trick. Oh, and of course a bit of biff in the St. Helens League game. It had a bit of everything, didn't it, round number 3, and we are expecting even more in round number 4. As I've said already, the game of the week is there. It's a full 30-minute preview. We're not going to be touching the Warrington Wolves travelling to the Hull KR tonight. That's available for you on a separate program, but we will take a look now at the other 5 games. Start with this one, the Castleford Tigers taking on the Huddersfield Giants in what for me is sure to be an intriguing contest at the Jungle. Great to see that Tessipali is back for the Castleford Tigers there, as you can see, after overcoming a minor knock, and you can see also that Sylvester Nemo is in the 21. Will he be making his debut for the Castleford Tigers this week? We will have to wait and see. On the opposite side, isn't it absolutely fantastic to see Harry Rushton back after, of course, ending his 2023 season with that ACL injury. Back is Harry Rushton. Will he be in contention? One man who we do expect to be in contention is the captain of Huddersfield Giants. The Cowbell Army will be delighted to see Luke Yates back after his 3-match suspension. Those 2 players coming in for Matty English, who's failed his HIA, and Adam Milner, who is suspended. Now, let's go and hear from both camps ahead of what should be a brilliant game at the Jungle.
personnel. It's just about fixing up the way that we defend. I thought we were a little bit too passive last week, and we allowed Warrington to come on to us and dictate what they wanted to do rather than it being the other way around. We need to be a little bit more proactive on that. So we've done as we would do anyway, regardless of whether we've done it well or done it badly. We've worked on his edge defence and his edge shapes and stuff like that. So it's we've worked on that this week. There's likely going to be a couple of changes in personnel on that side, potentially with the injuries that we've got and the changes that we've got to make as well. So we're sort of confident that we've trained well this week and prepped well this week for the dangers that Huddersfield are going to throw at us. But like always, it's what you do on the game day and what you do on that particular play that counts.
Yeah, mate, Castleford have been like that for years, haven't they? They play that pitch pretty well. They know the layout of it, and the crowd are right on top of you there. I love it going to Castleford. I think it's a proper old school kind of game, and it's kind of the tough ones where you've got to roll your sleeves up and do kind of the dirty work first, to be fair. But I think it's a great place to go and play, Castleford. It always has been, but you always know that you're going to be in for a game there.
Loving it. I've been given an opportunity for a start this year, and I'm really enjoying the role that Linda's has given me in terms of that left edge, and I feel a bit more of a senior player now. I'm 26, going 27 this year, so just trying to take into that leadership role a bit more with the younger lads coming through. What I experienced at Huddersfield with Leroy and Bruno and Jermaine, people like those. I'm just trying to do what they did for me, but at Castleford, and hopefully try to bring some more people on and bring them through and make them into Super League players as well.
Yeah, well, played at Cass in the trial, so that was a good initiation. But I think like what I said, what we've seen from Cass, and speaking to other guys around here, and obviously Adam Milner's from Castleford, and had a bit of a chat to him about Castleford over the years and what to sort of expect from them. And I think like what I said, they're gritty, they're tough to beat, they've been completing really high, and especially in the early rounds. Like that's one thing that we've struggled with, the early rounds, and we've probably suffered because of that, completion rate. So that's one thing we've got to get right this weekend. Like what I said, focus on ourselves, and hopefully that'll put us in a better position to compete.
Really good team. They've got threats and dangers across the park. Loads of experience. Loads of people that can win games as well. I guess with the start that they've had playing the last couple of games against Saints and against Wigan, they've had a difficult start to the season, haven't they? So they'll be looking for trying to build some confidence themselves and try and get in a little bit of momentum and some wins on the board. So I think it's got the all marks to be a real good contest against two teams that are desperate for a victory.
Mate, Castleford have turned round. Obviously, you can see some of the work that Danny Maguire's brought with him from Hull KR over there, and what Craig's took with him as well. And they're trying to obviously be a difficult team to beat. They complete very well. I think they were 100% again at weekend against Warrington in the first half. So they're making it difficult for the opposition. What we have to be is just focused on our game and play to our best of abilities.
This should be an absolute belter. Sam Ward had a great game at the Warrington Wolves last week. He's settled into his time at the Castleford Tigers. And Adam Clune, well, he really does need to step up against the Castleford Tigers this week. No Danny Richardson. He is still to recover from his concussion protocols. He's not there. So it's more than likely going to be Jacob Miller and Ron Milnes in the halves for the Castleford Tigers tonight. As you can see, last year, 3 games, and all 3 went the way of the Huddersfield Giants, and we have put that little narrative in there as well, if you remember, from Super League Raw. Innes Senior and Elliot Wallace going up against their former sides. Could one of those players be the heartbreaker for the opposition on Friday night? Well, you'll have to tune in to Sky Sports to find out. Right, let's now go over to this little beauty. The Leigh Leopards entertaining the Leeds Rhinos. Leigh losing, of course, their first 2 outings in Super League. Is it a disaster if they lose a third? Well, Adrian Lamb in his press conference did say this is a must-win game for his team. But as you can see, lots of players now missing. Tom Briscoe and John Asiata now missing, of course, for at least 6 to 8 weeks alongside Edwin Ipape. They're going to have to do it tough. Of course, Matt Moylan a lot better last week in the game against St Helens. Lachlan Lamb expected hopefully to improve going into this one. Who will they put in that loose forward position? Will it be Frankie Holton? Will they drop Kyle O'Donnell back there? Who knows? One thing's for certain though, they desperately need a good showing on home soil, and Tapau will be on stage before the game for anybody who's going to be there. As for the Leeds Rhinos, what a brilliant win for them last week, and they will be looking to build on that against Leigh last year. They did not have it their own way at the Leigh Leopards. If you remember, they lost there. So if they was to get 2 points, they would see that as an improvement year on year. As you can see, Darrell Alford's back in the side for this one. Will Lewis Roberts keep his position? More than likely, we would expect. Michael Agilewski is in the squad. However, he was 50-50 on Tuesday. Will he make the grade? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Of course, no James Bentley in the second row. He is going to be sitting this one out with a one-match ban, of course, for this one. Let's now go and hear from both coaches ahead of this game.
Been very similar, mirrored the last 2 years of me coaching here, to be honest with you. That's the frustrating part. But like the last 2 years, we've also introduced a lot of new faces into the squad. So I think we've got 10 new players in our squad of 32 players this year, and I think there was like 6 positional changes. I know all teams have got positional changes, but with Jack Hughes in the front row and a new player with Brad Dwyer starting at 9 instead of Edward Apape, who only played 7 minutes in round 1, and John Asiata, who probably matched that time in our second game. So it's not ideal that that's happened, but it certainly plays a part in upsetting the rhythm of the team. But as the game got on, I thought we managed to play without John really well, and that's the exciting parts moving forward. But we've got new faces like Frankie Holton, who didn't start for us last year at all, played minimum time, who's come back from injury. Ricky Latelli, who's been out for 6 months with a vertebrae back operation, and the list goes on. New player, and Dan Norman off the bench, Owen Trout off the bench. So there's a lot of new faces there that, Matty Moylan, probably the most senior one out of all of them, a new face to us. So it's going to take time, and I understand that, though it's difficult to manage that process when it's happening right in front of your eyes. But there's good reason to think that we're going to improve. It's just about spending time together, and literally it takes between 6 to 10 weeks in my experiences to get your team gels. So we just got to jag a win there and build some confidence off the back of that. I'm sure things will change.
Steady. We've played in 3 significantly different conditions against 3 significantly different teams, and we've found different ways to be competitive in each game, which I like that fact. I don't like the concept of you've got a limited way of sort of winning. There's got to be different ways to win, and I thought last week it was clearly our bravery with the ball, but also our commitment to defending our try line were the key parts. So I really like that. I haven't really thought about round 2 since round 2, so it's hard to sort of clump those games together. But I think as a group, we've shown some resilience, we've shown some calmness, and we've shown patches of what we're capable of doing. But we're looking forward to starting again this week and rolling the sleeves up and getting stuck in over at Leigh.
Recruited very well, as mentioned earlier. I think some of the younger outside backs who have been threatened to set Super League alight in the last couple of seasons have certainly helped the way that they've performed this year. They're a team that look like they're well connected and playing for each other. So it'll be no different. It'll be a massive game for us as a club. We need our first win, and when we're at home as well. So the focus for me and the team this week have been more about us and not too much about Leeds, because I feel that's where we need to be to get the result we deserve.
For what Leigh have done as a club in a short period of time, Adrian's a quality coach, and I think with Apape and Asiata not there, that puts the ball in the hands of Moylan and Lamb more. So they're both very dangerous players and players we respect a lot. So we're very conscious of doing our work in the middle of the field and getting stuck in, but also being very well prepared for their shift plays and their ability to combine on the edges.
Well, as you can see there, in round 10 last year, Leigh Leopards beat the Rhinos 20 points to 6. If the Rhinos were to get a win at the LSV on Friday night, it would be a brilliant start for Owen Smith in 2024 after what was a very poor start last year. The odds, well, as you can see, 8-11 on the Leeds Rhinos in this one. Matt Moylan and Harry Newman, the two players that we picked out in this. This is going to be a belting game on Friday night. Some real quality on the field of play. I, for one, will be tuning in. I hope you will be too. All of these interviews, of course, are coming from social media. Make sure you get yourselves over to Castleford Tigers TV, Huddersfield TV, also to Rugby League at JD on Facebook. Outstanding. The full press conferences you can find for Castleford and Huddersfield there, as well as that one there with Rowan Smith. And of course, Leopards TV for all things the Leopards. Brilliant, brilliant game. I, for one, cannot wait for that one on Friday night. There's only one other game on Friday night, and that is this one. The Saints going up against the Salford Red Devils, the back-to-back winning Salford Red Devils in the last two rounds, of course. It's going to be interesting. It's expected to be a dry track on Friday night, but it is going to be windy. So the kickers, the likes of Johnny Lomax, Lewis Dodd, and of course Mark Sneed, it might be a little bit blustery on Friday at the Totally Wicked. That could maybe be a little bit of a leveler, and there's no doubt Salford will go there, in high spirits. Hopefully Ryan Briley is going to be okay after pulling out in the warm-up last week, of course. As for St. Helens, just the one change with Conrad Hovell serving his one-match ban. You can see T. Ritson has been drafted into the squad for this one. There's no doubt Saints at the moment are in scintillating form. And while Salford are keeping their powder dry ahead of kickoff, Paul Welland has been speaking prior to this game.
They're both a lot better now. So obviously Conrad's got a suspension this week, so Wonga comes back into contention. He's fit and healthy and obviously raring to go. And again on Matty Lee's, we've got to make a call on Matty, but we're thinking it might need another week. It's obviously we've got to respect the situation there. He's someone who's had a rough couple of months in terms of infections and been in hospital a few times. So we want to make sure that when Matty does come back, he comes back fit and healthy and ready to not just play one game but string a number of games together.
Yeah, they play with a ton of energy and a ton of skill, and I think every time we verse them, it's always a tough game. So I'm expecting nothing less this weekend, bro. They're such a skillful team, and they play an expansive brand of footy. So it's always tough, bro. It's always tough, and like I said, bro, I'm expecting nothing less come this Friday.
Yeah, I think you've got to pay huge credit to them as a club, and certainly Paul Rowley as a coach. Given the fact that they have had a fair bit of disruption in terms of some of the more senior players moving on, but they seem to get it right in terms of the recruitment. They seem to gel the team together pretty quickly, and that's been very evident in the last couple of victories that they've had, and not just the victories but also the defeat at Leeds in round one.
St. Helens absolutely incredible thus far this season, only conceding 8 points in the first 3 rounds of Super League. And for those of you who took a close hard look at the squad of Salford, you will see that Noah Faluma is not in the squad this week. Right, I mean, we said this on Super League Raw Weekly. Salford have a really poor record at the Totally Wicked Stadium. They can never seem to get one over on Saints. I think it's going to take another masterclass from Mark Sneed to maybe cause an upset in this one. We wish the Salford Red Devils very well as they travel to the former champions, the Saints. Right, now we go to the game down in London for the London Broncos taking on the Wigan Warriors this week, of course, and it's going to be on Saturday. Reece Butterworth, you will see there, has joined Fenton Rodgers on loan at the London Broncos. They're in the 21-man squad, of course. Reece Butterworth coming in from the Hull KR, not really getting much of a game. Quite a few hookers at the moment being sent out on loan. Brad Dwyer to the Leigh Leopards, Corey Johnson at Leeds, of course, he's been sent out as well. So yeah, Reece Butterworth maybe getting a bit of game time this weekend for the London Broncos. And for those other sharp-eyed amongst you, Alex Walker is set hopefully to make his Super League debut in this one. Believe me, Alex Walker last year lit up the championship. This is really good news for Mike Eccles. As for the Wigan Warriors, well, you will see they have made a couple of changes into the squad. is Junior Ensemba and Jacob Douglas. They're replacing Liam Byrne, who's out with a hip injury, and Liam Marshall, who we believe is being rested for this one. Of course, Liam Marshall has had a bereavement in his family over the last few weeks, so maybe Liam just being given a little bit of time off for this one, but it's still an incredibly strong squad that Matty Peet is taking down to London. But one thing's for certain, Matt Peet and Abbas Miskew, who knows London well, are not going to be taking this one for granted.
Exciting. It was the first time I came to the UK, played for London for that 1 year. A lot of the boys that I played alongside are still there. And they're an eager team, very eager team to go well in the Super League. First year back, they're going to be tough. We're not underestimating them. We know what they can bring. It's exciting. I know we have a day there, a dinner there after the game, so it'll be good to stay in London with the team and obviously go up against London Broncos, which I'm sure will be good.
Determination, pride, hard work. A committed group, no doubt. They've got their challenges of London, but I thought if you watch them against Hull FC at the weekend, they're not throwing in the towel by any stretch. So we're going to have to be, somewhere close to our best. And if we are, then we'll win the game. But if we dip below our standard, then it could become, again, tighter than it needs to be. So we have to show them the respect they deserve. And also, we're looking to improve some areas of our game as well. So we'll concentrate more on that, where we can improve as a group. Lessons we've learned from the Huddersfield and Penrith games, and we'll try to build and take the team to the next level.
Catch both of those press conferences in full on Wigan TV. Nobody really giving much chances to the London Broncos. Look at those odds, 1-25 on the Wigan Warriors, but Matt Peet is taking nothing for granted. And I have to agree with Matt Peet as well. I do believe that the London Broncos have shown a lot of heart in the first three games. Yes, the first two they lost convincingly, but they never threw the towel in. I mean, if you remember against Catalans in round two, right to the end, they were pushing for that try, and the atmosphere down in London for that Catalan game was brilliant. Hopefully that's replicated when Wigan come to town. One thing's for certain, Mike Eccles' team will be competitive. They're not going to just roll over and die for the Wigan Warriors. Wigan will have to play well to come out there, and I think one of the things that Wigan will want to do is put a decent score on, because such is the quality of the top 3 or 4 teams. Points difference at the end of the season could be critical, and I think a lot of those top sides will be looking at the likes of London as an opportunity to put on some points. We've already seen that St Helens have done that, of course. Bringing the curtain down on this weekend's fixtures, Hull FC travel to Perpignan. I think Catalan will be more than happy to be back home for this one. Tom Davies, who didn't play at the weekend, is back in the squad. Everybody has been really surprised to see that Tom Johnson has not got a try yet in 2024 Super League. He's in the squad as well. Pretty much unchanged for the Catalan Dragons. England prop Mike McMeekin, of course, was a late withdrawal, but he is in the 21-man squad for this one. So, late withdrawal last week, but in the squad. As for Hull FC, they are boosted by Herman Essa back from his 2-match suspension. Of course, Jack Brown, he's out with a 1-match ban. Tex Hoy, well, he's back in the squad, so he may be featuring for this one, having been left out for that 28-24 game at the weekend. So that's going to be interesting as well. As you will see, still no Joe Catering there. Jordan Lane, who also hobbled off the field, he's in the 21-man squad. And another player that we've been really impressed with this season at Hull FC has been Jack Ashworth. We think of all of the signings that he has made, Tony Smith. At the moment, Jack Ashworth is the one that has got off to the strongest start. Ockenbaugh, not too bad. Still New Brown, a bit better against London Broncos. He still needs to improve. And Matty Russell and Joe Bullock, though they certainly earned their straps, didn't they, in that game against London Broncos on loan from the Warrington Wolves. Again, no word out of Hull FC's camp ahead of this game, but Steve McNamara has been speaking. Let's hear what he's had to say.
I think after back-to-back away games, travel a little bit different in the last one. It was important for us. We recognise that. We give the players off their time off, and they've come back in really refreshed and full of energy today. So it's a good sign. We're really focused for this game. We don't like getting beat. We don't like getting beat after we dominated large parts of that game. Did so many things right in that game, but clearly our attack was off. We were really happy with the way we defended, but we'd lacked a cutting edge in attack. It hurt us. We're disappointed. We're frustrated, and we can't wait for Saturday night now to put that right. It's only a huge disappointment if we don't respond. I think you have to get lessons throughout the season. You'd like to learn those lessons and still win, but Leeds were good enough to get us on the day. But it's only going to be a huge mistake if we don't learn from that and respond. We'll respond on Saturday, I'm sure.
It was hard. It was a hard match, but we put that on ourselves with a few sin bins, penalties when we shouldn't have given penalties, where we dominated the match in field possession, but just came away with a few disciplinary actions. As Steve Mack said, it's how we respond this weekend. It's definitely a disappointment to lose that match, but it would be more disappointing to us if we don't react this weekend and show what we really can do. From the match, you could see that defensively we're strong. We're a strong team. We're connected, but just our attack, and I think we nailed it today.
So here we go. Catalan Dragons up against Hull FC, and again, Catalan 1-16 on for this one. They will really want to bounce back against Hull FC, and we will, I think, learn a bit more about Hull FC in this game. Also, how competitive can they be? Last year, in both home and away fixtures, it was 2 wins for the Catalan Dragons. The one in Perpignan in round 3, very convincing. 38 points to 6. This will be a really interesting game on Saturday, one not to be missed. As announced on Super League Raw Weekly this week, are you going to be a part of the first ever quiz night here at Super League Raw? It will be a virtual quiz. We will be sending out details on this a little bit nearer the time. Monday, the 15th of April at 7:30 p.m. Do you think you know your rugby league? There will be prizes on the night. This is going to be a great occasion. Come and test your rugby league knowledge in an interactive way. You'll be playing on your phones as well as watching on the TV. There'll be leaderboards. There'll be what happens next, all of that kind of great stuff. Very similar to a question of sport, but you, of course, will be playing along on that one. Do join us Monday, the 15th of April. More details to come between now and then. Set your diaries. There's nothing like a bit of rugby league on a Monday night, especially if it's a quiz, testing your knowledge. And like I say, prizes to be announced as well. Super League Raw just keeps getting bigger and better, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? The Mike McMeekin in Conversation is now there for you to watch on YouTube or to download on Apple, Spotify or Amazon. So make sure you do that. The Final Whistle podcast, get that ahead of round number 4. What did the fans forum, the team talk members of Super League Raw, what did they have to say about round number 4 and round number 3? And also Super League Raw Weekly, that's available. And what we've actually done is condense that yet again into a bite-sized episode. If you just like to listen to the predictions before round number 4, that will be going out a little bit later on tonight as well, before the game, Warrington against Hull KR at Craven Park. It's all coming thick and fast. Get yourself to the rugby league. It's the greatest game on earth. We've already seen some magnificent tries, some incredible skill, some brutal defence, and we're going to get even more in round number 4. Don't you dare miss a minute. All live on Sky. We look forward to seeing you for another news update on Monday. Don't forget the Final Whistle podcast will be downloaded on Monday for you on our Apple, Amazon and Spotify accounts. It's just all coming thick and fast at Super League Raw. I can't keep up, I'm breathless. Enjoy your rugby league this weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for more Super League Raw news. Bye for now, everybody.